What up, folks? I am Ultrazilla, and today I have a review of the MSF Green Monster. If you don't know what this is, it's obviously a Godzilla, but this is a Godzilla based on the old 70s Marvel Comics. That's right, the late 70s, Marvel did a comic of Godzilla, and this is it. Godzilla in the Marvel Universe at the time, and MSF did a figure of it. Now, this is the third run of this. He dropped it twice before I was able to get it. The first time, I just couldn't grab it. I was able to hype it up for him, but I couldn't grab it. Couldn't do it myself at the time. Well documented, ups and downs, freelance, that was not the time. The second time, I totally missed. Completely missed it. By the time I saw it, it was sold out already. And I thought that was going to be it, but then he dropped it one more time, and I was like, not missing out a third time. So here it is, Green Monster. I have a very special place in my heart for this. I knew it as a kid. I believe I owned an issue of it when I was a kid that I did get at a comic store. Probably one of my first comics. Then I was desperately trying to get the black and white milestone edition, I think it was called. There was black and white reprints that Marvel did for a while, and they did one of Godzilla. Could never track it down. And then when I was working at DC Comics, my former boss gave me a bunch of issues, which I'm gonna show you right after the jump. So without any further ado, let's get to the review. So, real quick, this is what I have of the original Godzilla King of the Monsters from Marvel Comics. Here we have him versus the Champions. Then he got shrunk small. So that was issue number 3. That was the earliest issue in the little batch of comics that I was given. But then we have 17 through 23, which includes the pretty famous Godzilla versus Avengers cover, which is pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? Over here, he was shrunk. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. there. Then, he's still shrunk over here versus a rat. Still shrunk over here, again, with S.H.I.E.L.D. And then, I guess he's getting a little bigger. Not totally big, but guest star in the Fantastic Four on that one. And then we have versus Devil Dinosaur. It's a little 2-pack here. It looks like with the Devil's Dinosaur there, and versus Devil Dinosaur to start. So, pretty cool little run. I'm glad I got to show these off here during this review. But enough about comics. Let's take a look at the figure itself. And first up, we do have a little articulation. The arms move at the shoulders, and the legs move at the hips, and the tail moves as well. So 5 POA on this guy. And I gotta say, for the most part, I think he did a really good job with this. The sculpt is pretty awesome. I really like it. It is a very nice sculpt. Really a nice homage to the comic. Very nicely done. The nails are painted, as you can see. Toenails as well. Just kind of done up in white, but they look pretty good. Texture on this guy is very nice. He's green. He's a green monster. And it's very nicely done. It is something about that aesthetic of green for Godzilla from this era that, I don't know, it's just so nostalgic to me. Now, I do wish the dorsal fins were done a little bit darker. And if there's one thing I will tell MSF, if you're watching, make them a little bit darker or give them a little bit of shading. Because that one thing in the comic, even though a lot of the shots, it is just green like the rest of them, there is some shading in them. It just, pops them just a little bit. I might want to do that on mine. I haven't decided 100% yet, but I might, because I feel like that's one thing that I wish this had was that. The arms look pretty good, though. The dorsal fins in total do look very nice. I do like the tail as well. I like how the dorsal fins, the middle line stops there, and he's got all these spikes to the end. I really like that. That's such a, also an 80s, dragon thing that was always going on. Like, you always saw that on, like, dragons and stuff. I feel like I had, like, multiple plastic dragons that had, like, the spikes all the way to the end like this. And I do like it. I think it works for Godzilla as well. I mean, again, to me, this is still obviously Godzilla. Maybe someone else might be like, that's not Godzilla. But, like, when you grow up on this stuff and, like, this and, like, the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla, you know, it's nostalgic. And the Shogun Godzilla, yeah, man, it is what it is. That's Godzilla. He's got a lot of nice folds and wrinkles in the neck, which I noticed. Very, very nicely done. The head sculpt is really, really nice. Now, I don't know why. I'm not sure what happened here. I'm not sure if every figure is like this. But there's like, he's got like a little gap in his teeth on mine. Is that like everybody's? I feel like that's just a sculpt thing, right? Like, because this side, everything is joined. The paint is clean, though. White paint. But then he's got a little gap in his tooth. And I was looking at the comic. I don't think I saw that. So I'm not sure what happened there. But it's fine. It's not the biggest of deals. It gives him a little more character. It almost feels like he's missing a tooth there. And then you see the tongue is painted on the inside, which looks good. And then the eyes are red with the black around it. And that is accurate as well. The red is really, really nice, too. I like it. It stands out really well. I like the shape of this Godzilla's head. He's got a little snout there. You see his little nostrils. Real nice. Real nice. Up and down. I really, really like it. I mean, again, I think the shape is a nice shape for Godzilla. Proportions are excellent, in my opinion. I gotta tell you, this is one of my favorite YMSF figures. A lot of folds here, too. Look at that. Really, really nice. And it could be a nostalgia thing again. But yeah, I like it. You know what? Is there some black in here? Or is that just a deep sculpt? See that? I feel like it's just deep sculpt. But it almost feels like there's some black in it. There might be. There might be. I don't know. Yeah, you know what? There might be some shading in this guy. Maybe I'm wrong there. Might be a little bit. Either way, I think it looks pretty good. Honestly. Very, very nicely done. I am definitely happy with this. You know, this is one of those figures, one of those iterations of Godzilla that we got nothing for. So, to have this is incredible. And for your size comparison, it's not going to be easy being green for this cast of characters, but what we got here is a nice selection of like nostalgic figures and or comic book like ones. So just for fun, here we go. Like, we have the reaction Shogun. I was looking for the Ultimates version, but you know, in hindsight, it's probably better just for spacing issues. I don't know where I put my Ultimates one. We have the comic book, the Dark Horse comic book one that Super 7 did. We also have the comic book version that YMSF did. This is a more clean version of the Dark Horse version. Clean version? Yeah, sure, why not? And the Mondo Hanna-Barbera Godzilla. So, a lot is represented here. You know, like, that green aesthetic, man, kind of rocks. And my final thoughts, I really like this piece. It's really cool. It's definitely a nostalgia play for me. I'm so glad I was able to get one. I was sweating there. I was like, oh, please put it up again right now when I actually have some money to use for this. And luckily he did. And you know what? I wasn't really saying that. But like, you know, it was just fortuitous and a good timing finally for me to be able to get this. Like I said, you know, this is very nostalgic for me. Personally, you know, I've known this Godzilla since I was a little kid, you know, so this is awesome to finally get, and it's a nice piece to boot. My one thing is the tooth thing. What is going on there? But, you know, it looks like he went a few rounds with the Devil Dinosaur there, right? And like I said, I would do the spines a little greener, but otherwise, I mean, look, and that's just a, you know, panel to panel thing. A lot of the times he looks just like this. So it works. And it's not a fault. It's just like a preference for me personally to want it like that. But this is awesome. This is so good. I really love it. Most likely gonna see it on my best of the year because it just hits in that way for me. You know what I'm saying? And there you go, guys. That's my review. Hope you dug it. Let me know your thoughts down below. And if you're new to the channel, why don't you go ahead and sub yourself for daily content and let me help you diversify your collection. Till next time, peace out, peeps.